Every third Thursday, when we don't have an in person event with Lake County Lake lovers, we meet on Zoom to share experiences, meet with the experts, and get answers to our questions. Tonight, you get a whirlwind tour of this year's sessions 11 experts sharing 11 solutions in 7 Zoom sessions. And you can watch every one of them if you just scan this QR code. And we're going to go through in rapid session the different sessions where there are also QR codes and links. And all of this will be on our YouTube channel. So you can come back to it for access to more than 200 different lake sessions. Are you ready? Let's go. The first of our sessions, you dive deep with a tour with Paul Spiewak, who's headed up our operations for our pilot, and he took us on 4 aquatic ecology conferences. The Phosphorus Forum in Arizona, the Wisconsin Lakes and Rivers in just upstream from us, and the Aquatic Plant Management Society in St. Petersburg, Florida, as well as the granddaddy of them all, the North American Lake Management Society, where he attended a special session on sediment phosphorus inactivation, a key focus for his lake. You can learn about that and also learn that 1 pound of phosphorus actually fuels 500 pounds of algae. Pretty scary and a reason to manage phosphorus better. What's beautiful about each of the sessions is you also get access to the Q&A time to meet your peers and learn from other experts. And Gary Swick chimed in on this one with advice that he gives to all of his students. Surround yourself with people smarter than you are if you want to solve big problems. And that's what he says Lake County Lake Lovers is expert at doing. So we thank you, Gary, for that message and for all you're doing with the Friends of the Fox River. Next, we had biodredging. Many people ask, how can we get rid of the muck in the lakes? Well, we asked experts from 3 biological science groups to join us for that. And Arun Kumar shared the before and after that happens with diatoms that accelerate the oxygen production for nutrient digestion in Key, Florida, as well as in Dubai. Then we had Jen Bielanciana, who's with Tigris, talk about the role of muck pellets in digesting the muck in the bottom of our lakes, and Utrizorb for phosphorus absorption. And finally, Dave Shackleton joined us from SysBio, where they use special visualization strategies to identify hotspots and then treat them with a combination of dissolved oxygen and enzymes, providing this beautiful before and after scenario for what can happen when we use multi-level methods for our lakes. Our teams recommend talking to the technology experts as well as to your lake consultants because they're the ones creating these innovations and can focus you on whether an organic or an inorganic solution is best. And also talk to your neighbors about what they're doing. We were thrilled to have Jerry Munley and Marty Sostek share the success that Loch Lomond has had deterring geese and beavers. Amazingly, the Shoreline production guided by the botanical gardens, not only beautified but protected their lakes, and it prevented the geese from shoring up. And also these blinking lights deterred the geese from landing, allowing them to keep their beaches open and avoid the toxic E. coli contamination. You'll see the buoys carried many of these blinking lights and made it easier for them to have impact. And also for the beavers, they provided tips and some funny ideas that you'll have to tune in to hear. Next, Northern Lakes. Our Cedar Lake and also Loon Lake had challenges, and they showed the power of leadership in addressing these challenges. First of all, Mary Lomas talked about applying for 2 grants for both eradication of the Eurasian milfoil and engagement of their stakeholders. And she talked about the power of a hook. And isn't this one a big hook? We all grab your attention for sure. And then the power of renewing hope and the hope that they had with the success of their engagement as well as the treatment caused standing room only visits to their HOA meetings. Congratulations, Mary. Job well done. And next, Alan Hagert invited neighbors when he heard about the Lake County monitoring pilot. And they put together a plan in just a few weeks and set a lofty goal of being out there on their lake and sharing the results, celebrating results, because they actually have a healthy lake, a glacial lake that is ahead of any problems. And so they can enjoy the view knowing that they are safeguarding their lake and preventing pollution. And again, with the discussions, we had the pleasure of having Jim Bland and other experts chime in. So know that it's not just the content in the sessions, but also the experts. And we turned to local expert Gloria Charlin because everyone asks, is that green stuff a problem on the tops of our lakes? She is the national leader for the Sierra Club and ran us through a Heartful Algae Bloom 101 session. Um, Introducing us to marine life and to her partner on many of these efforts, Jim Bland, and talking about the easy detection. Does it look like paint? Does it stick to a pole so that you can see whether or not something could be toxic and a harm to plants or to pets and to people? So collecting a grab sample is easier with these remote sticks you can use or grab sample devices. And then also the testing kits that her organization gives out to those who join. So thank you, Gloria, for that. Next up was Jerry Munley, who's been the education leader for our pilot monitoring program, and wanted everyone to understand why we look at this data anyway, because lakes are complex and the water testing parameters each reveal a different aspect of the lake health, but you need to consider them all together and also consider, are you looking at a pool or do you want a healthy lake that's rich in supporting marine life? So we asked, we can look at eutrophic lake versus a hypereutrophic lake. Each has a different level of nutrients and can support different life. And um, the level of oxygen that you have in the lake determines whether or not it can support fish, and the oxygen varies by season as well as by temperature. So below 4 milligrams, you're going to have difficulty having any fish in your lake, and reason to keep a close eye on the oxygen levels. The Secchi depth, a very simple measure using this black and white disc, can tell you whether or not you can support photosynthesis and or whether oxygen's present. And below 3 feet, you need to pay attention because below 1 feet, you have lethally low oxygen levels. And so a very helpful, simple measure. And the reality is it's a balancing act. Too few nutrients or not enough will impact who can survive in your lake and how it serves you for both leisure and fishing purposes or for the local environment's health. And many people participated in this session. And Paul Dwidzik of Lake Zurich chimed in and noted how powerful it was to know that he could turn to folks right in the county to share their experiences and to gain better insights. So thank you all who have participated in these sessions, adding to the Q&A sessions. And finally, watershed value and impact. We looked at what it means with the total system around the lake with Flint and Spring Creek's Watershed Partnership lead, Karen Dalton-Lang. She explained all the water flowing into your yards goes inevitably to the lakes or waterways. So we need to be watchful of it. She provided many different tips that each of you can use to contribute your part. Maintain your septic system, maintain your lawn to protect our watersheds. Pick up the dog poop that contributes to the nutrient load in our lakes, and use those leaves in your yard rather than in pushing them off into the lakes or rivers. If you can, go native. They have deeper roots and can serve in the filtration process with any polluted water that comes through. And install a rain barrel, which also stalls the rain flowing into our streets and into our lakes with pollution. And with our winter season upon us, Salt Smart, the Lake County Health Department, has salting workshops that you can attend. And know that you can actually dilute the salt that's going in. As Kurt Wolford chimed in that session to remind people, we have the maps of the watershed so you know where the impact areas are. And you can also scan for best management practices for all of your sites across Lake County. And the Stormwater Management Commission has done an excellent job of making this available, as have the people who contributed to our third Thursday sessions. So join us, mark your calendar. January 17th is the next third Thursday. You can join by Zoom then, and you'll get alerts to these if you scan the QR code and join the Lake Lover community. So thanks to all who are contributing to the Third Thursdays, to the discussion during the Q&As, to spreading the word, and most importantly, making all of this happen in our lakes.